Flag you. Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick! Thank you! Get the fuck! Get the hell out of here, yo! Yo! Jab stepping. It's the brick. Swing and a miss!
Oh!
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
Did the internet just expose a secret so audacious it could shatter the very foundation of women's sports? It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but swirling rumors claim one of basketball's most dominant figures, Brittney Griner, is secretly a man. A resurfaced clip and bizarre online detective work have ignited an explosive debate, pushing us into a digital twilight zone of sideline surgeons and anatomical experts. This isn't just about hoops, it's about what happens when whispers warp reality and online shouts threaten to drown out common sense. Stick around, because the story behind these shocking claims is far wilder than you can imagine.
Can't even get an intro out. Because guys, it is now confirmed, Brittney Griner, Brett Griner, I don't know what to actually call them, but it seems like him, Brittney Griner has confirmed that she is a male.
This wild journey began with a single, seemingly innocent word that detonated an already simmering online firestorm. A momentous personal occasion, a new child for Griner and her partner, should have been a moment of quiet celebration. Instead, it became the unsuspecting fuse for a digital explosion. In a widely circulated interview, when asked about becoming a parent, Griner's partner responded with an emotional yet simple, "Pops." Just like that, a private term of endearment shared within a family became the ultimate gotcha moment for online sleuths.
Everybody knows who Brittney Griner is, and if you don't know who Brittney Griner is, she is the WNBA star that we traded a weapons terrorist for about a year ago. And recently, a momentous personal occasion has happened for her.
You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops.
Now look, man, it's 2024. I don't care if a woman and a woman want to have a kid together. Good on them. More power to them. But it's just so weird to me. You want your son to call you Pops, and whenever his friends ask, what does your dad do for a living? He's supposed to say, oh, he plays in the WNBA. Now then,
overnight, discussions pivoted from the miracle of new life to frantic dissection of identity. In an era where anything can be questioned, this single utterance felt like a confession to those already convinced of a hidden truth, a secret they believed was just waiting to be exposed. The clip rocketed across social media, reposted countless times, each view adding fuel to a blaze that had been smoldering for years.
I think there's probably one other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops. Please tell me how exciting that is for you and what you're looking forward to most.
I'm super excited. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just drop it. He's here. So he's here. Yes. 7'8", 24. Yeah. 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Yeah. That's my man.
I love that.
He is amazing. They say, you know, as soon as you see him, it just like everything that you thought mattered just goes out the window. And that's literally what happens. It's kind of sucks because I got to leave, you know?
The sheer speed with which this personal news transformed into a global spectacle of gender speculation was breathtaking, proving once again that the internet finds controversy even in the most unexpected corners. But this was just the fuse. The real explosion was yet to come, as armchair experts began dissecting every angle, from jawlines to shoulder widths.
Speculating, is Brittney Griner actually a female or a male? Now, Brittney Griner actually does play in the WNBA, which is a women's basketball association, right? But when you actually listen to Brittney Griner's voice is very, very masculine, okay? Now, Brittney Griner is also a lesbian, and we found out probably about, 3-4 months ago that Brittney Griner's lover, Cheryl, a woman, actually got pregnant.
The internet, in its infinite wisdom, collectively appointed itself the world's foremost gender and anatomy expert, armed with nothing but grainy screenshots, a ruler tool in MS Paint, and the kind of unshakable confidence usually reserved for guys who've never finished high school but swear they can fix your car. The theories escalated. The primary evidence cited Griner's shoulder-to-head ratio, her deep, resonant voice, and her overall powerful physique.
And it's all because she's confirming seemingly that she fathered her child. So he and his wife have fathered a new baby. The wife just had a baby. And you have to look at this clip to believe what is actually going on. I am confused. Well, I'm not confused, but this may be confirmation now that this is a dude the whole time, and we have been gaslit to believe.
Apparently, if your shoulders are wider than 3 times the width of your head, you must be hiding something. It wasn't just a broader build. No, this was presented as irrefutable anatomical proof that Griner was somehow sneaking into women's basketball with a male skeleton strapped under her skin like some kind of strange athletic shapeshifter. These self-proclaimed forensic scientists meticulously analyzed every public image, every slight tilt of the head, every vocal inflection. Their findings that Griner possessed male bone structure and a very masculine voice, supposedly undeniable signs of a hidden biological reality. Science and logic quietly wept in the corner as keyboard warriors redefined anatomy using Instagram memes and a few TikTok dance moves.
Shocked because for a moment here, I thought I was watching BS NBC with the way that this Fox host goes full Rachel Maddow, full Joy Reid on Riley Gaines, because Riley Gaines told the truth about Brittney Griner and her being included in the Olympics over somebody like Kaitlyn Clark, who definitely, when you look at merit, deserves a spot on the team.
If this absurd logic held up, every female athlete who dares to bench press more than a sack of potatoes would be forced to switch teams. Serena Williams, a titan of tennis known for her immense power and muscular physique, would be banished from the court. The WNBA, supposedly a bastion of female athleticism, would be empty, left to the feminine few. The sheer audacity of these claims, born from online echo chambers, suggested a deeper, more unsettling desire to police and categorize based on superficial appearance. Yet, as these whispers grew, another massive storyline began to intertwine, pulling a rival star into the chaos and elevating this absurd debate to a full-blown culture war.
Nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, "fucking white girl." Now, I think it was my old friend Jamel Hill, used to work with her at ESPN. I believe Jamel said Griner actually said,
as if the alleged anatomical revelations weren't enough, the drama intensified with the emergence of Kaitlyn Clark. Suddenly, the rising star went from being a phenomenal basketball player to a symbol of the patriarchy's last stand, at least according to the internet's more extreme elements. Kaitlyn is simply out there playing her game, dropping threes and breaking ankles. Yet her very presence has become a flashpoint in a bizarre gender conflict no one asked for. Her undeniable skill and surging popularity inadvertently turned her into a contrasting figure against Griner in a narrative that spun wildly out of control. The internet's narrative architects framed Clark's grace and conventional femininity against Griner's unconventional power and perceived aggression.
So guys, the WNBA is trending again. But as per usual, it's not really for any good reason. Brittney Griner is under fire for extremely aggressive behavior portrayed toward Kaitlyn Clark, the rookie from last year, the one that has everybody's focus in the WNBA. And this incident has, of course, gone viral online, but also sparked up some other skeletons in Brittney's closet that she probably wants.
Instead of celebrating two phenomenal athletes, the online discourse twisted their on-court rivalry into a referendum on femininity itself. Why focus on actual basketball stats when you can obsess over a rival's alleged chromosome count? Why discuss game strategy when you can speculate on who belongs and who doesn't? The entire thing reads like a fever dream created by a Reddit thread on a particularly slow Tuesday afternoon, overshadowing the actual game and the true talents involved. It's a classic tactic. Pit two compelling figures against each other, fan the flames of an invented feud, and watch the clicks roll in. But the drama didn't stop on the court. Allegations of fiery words escalated the stakes even further, adding another layer to the controversy and providing more supposed proof for the internet's wild theories.
To feminists.
Yeah. Martina Navratilova is a real trailblazer in her own career, of course. I just wish there were more cases of this, because all the time, as we see in the Brittney Griner example, all the time the rhetoric is being ramped up by the sort of pro-trans lobby. We saw yesterday Whoopi Goldberg claiming that the Bible shows that transgender.
The already chaotic narrative surrounding Griner took another explosive turn with allegations of profoundly inappropriate behavior. During a tense moment on the court, an incident involving Kaitlyn Clark led to widespread claims that Griner had unleashed a highly offensive race-based profanity towards her. Videos circulated, debated endlessly, with some viewers convinced they heard a deeply disturbing slur. This alleged outburst, though unconfirmed and officially disputed by Griner's camp, was seized upon by critics as further proof of her aggressive, unfeminine nature, and was weaponized to reinforce the idea that she simply didn't belong in women's sports.
Brittney Griner, who was imprisoned in Russia, in a man's prison, which I had no idea about, and I think that leads us into our next story. Amy, take us away.
Yeah, so I would never have thought that I would be on here talking about a sports story, okay? Anybody at Valuetainment who knows me knows that I am very much not adept when it comes to the world of sports. But we do have a very interesting intersection right now with Pride Month going on, and so I thought I would bring this story to you guys. There has been widespread speculation for a while now, but it's really kind of come to a head on Twitter over the last couple of days, that Brittney Griner, the WNBA's Brittney Griner, is in fact a man.
It became yet another piece of evidence in the bizarre case against her identity. The incident, true or not, became a flashpoint, fueling outrage and validating the male narrative for those already convinced. Critics then connected this to broader arguments about the WNBA's perceived wokeness or virtue signaling, suggesting the league was deliberately protecting or promoting certain athletes, implying Griner received preferential treatment due to a politically correct agenda. This narrative argues that the WNBA, in its effort to appear inclusive, is actively ignoring clear issues. It highlighted a stark double standard. Any perceived misstep by Griner was magnified and used to discredit her, while her years of athletic achievement seemed to vanish under the weight of online outrage.
So the WNBA says they want to get paid more. They're saying this year they're going to make $1 billion. That's what they're saying, okay? For the first time ever. Now that Kaitlyn Clark is hurt for 2 weeks, did you see ticket prices? Insane. Let me read you the ticket prices. After Kaitlyn Clark's been hurt for 2 weeks. All right? So let's go through this. Kaitlyn Clark absence is having an immediate impact beyond the court. According to data shared by Yahoo Sports via TickPick, prices for 2 specific Indiana Fever away games against the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics dropped sharply after Clark was sidelined.
The sheer volume of this criticism, often presented with self-assured authority, painted a picture of a league out of touch with reality, valuing ideology over fair play. As the online firestorm raged, it pulled in threads from Griner's past, including a notorious global incident, weaving a truly complex tapestry of controversy that seemed to feed on itself, deepening the rabbit hole of speculation.
Every time we play her, there's this commotion. Like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. She says WNBA games used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now it's like there's large gatherings of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score. like we're there for their entertainment. You are. The whole thing is toxic. I saw a guy with his daughter in the crowd, both of them yelling, couldn't hear what they were saying exactly, but it was either my performance or some. Brittney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the NBA, WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering. This is disruptive. It's not allowing us to play the game.
Adding another bizarre layer to this already tangled web was a significant chapter from Griner's recent past. Her highly publicized legal troubles and imprisonment abroad. For those immersed in the internet's Griner debates, this real-world, high-stakes international incident seemed to somehow fit into the manufactured narrative, adding an almost cinematic dimension to her controversial public image. Some online commentators even presented Griner as the living embodiment of the woke trifecta, a black gay woman, implying that her demographic status shielded her from any legitimate criticism and granted her an untouchable aura.
Important because, again, what if the inverse had been done? We know the way that the WNBA absolutely loves to virtue signal, as is highlighted by this article here that was put out on May 27th. The WNBA should investigate Brittney Griner's seemingly uttering profanities about white girl.
This perspective suggested that any scrutiny of Griner, whether related to her physique, her on-court behavior, or her identity, was automatically dismissed as hate or bigotry. It's a chilling tactic, reminiscent of historical patterns where any challenge to the status quo, or any individual who doesn't conform to narrow stereotypes, is immediately labeled and discredited. The argument implies that Griner's very existence on the court is a political statement rather than a display of athletic prowess, making it impossible to evaluate her on her merits alone. This is not just about basketball anymore. It's about a broader cultural struggle where an athlete becomes a proxy for larger societal anxieties and disagreements.
Griner literally represents the woke trifecta in sports. She is black, she is gay, and she is a woman. However, I do have some serious questions about that last one, which again, we are going to circle back to here in a little bit. But first, what we're going to do is we are going to react to this incident between Brittney Griner and Kaitlyn Clark. We can see here that Riley Gaines posted, Brittney Griner appeared to call Kaitlyn Clark trash and effing white girl after failing out last night.
The fact that the internet can tie together an international diplomatic incident, a basketball rivalry, and a person's perceived physical traits into one overarching sensational conspiracy shows the sheer power and danger of online narratives. But beyond the wild accusations and internet frenzy, what do these extreme claims truly demand of us and the world of sports? What are the underlying messages hidden in this digital chaos? The true kicker in this whole saga isn't just the wild accusations, it's the unsettling implication they carry, the impostor narrative. This insidious idea posits that if you don't conform to a narrow, stereotypical vision of your gender, you are an imposter. If your arms are too muscular, you're suspicious. If your shoulders are too broad, you're doubly suspicious. And heaven forbid you have the audacity to dunk a basketball. That's practically an admission of being a man. This toxic mindset dismisses years of athletic achievement, relentless training, and profound dedication. It reduces a world-class athlete to a collection of perceived physical traits, judged by self-proclaimed experts armed with nothing but a keyboard and a camera phone. The hypocrisy is staggering. These critics demand respect for Griner's self-identified gender, while simultaneously telling her she can't play women's basketball because, according to their arbitrary rules, respecting identity means playing by their made-up criteria. The sports world would devolve into a biometric nightmare overnight, where calipers and measuring tapes replace skill and dedication. Imagine a future where every strong, muscular female athlete faces this level of intense, demeaning scrutiny. If Brittney Griner's undeniable talent is invalidated by her shoulder width, then where do we draw the line? Every female athlete who dares to be powerful, tall, or visibly strong becomes a target for similar accusations. It's a blatant attempt to police and punish any woman who dares to exceed physical expectations, forcing her back into a box of perceived feminine weakness, ensuring that only those who fit a very specific, narrow mold are allowed to excel. So what's the endgame of this bizarre digital witch hunt? And what does it say about our collective obsession with controversy, even at the expense of fairness and truth? At the end of this twisted road, what have we truly learned? We've seen the internet's insatiable obsession with Brittney Griner's body, twisting every perceived detail into proof of an outlandish conspiracy. We've witnessed the absurdity of evidence based on blurry screenshots and faulty measurements, and how it's weaponized to discredit a dominant athlete. And we've seen how a legitimate sports rivalry can be hijacked, transformed into a bizarre gender battle that overshadows the actual game. This isn't about fair play or protecting women's sports. It's about sensationalism, clickbait, and a deeply unsettling societal urge to tear down successful, unconventional figures, especially powerful women of color. The relentless focus on Griner's physique and identity serves as a convenient distraction from the real challenges faced by women's sports: gaining airtime, earning respect, and achieving equitable pay. Is this all truly about protecting fairness, or a calculated effort to dismantle powerful women and stir endless outrage, driving views and engagement at any cost? As the conversation drifts further from basketball and deeper into bizarre anatomical debates, perhaps it's time to question whose agenda is truly being served. If we're reduced to measuring shoulders and declaring athletes too broad to count, what's next? Weighing them in grains of salt to see if they're too salty for women's sports. It's a cynical tactic designed to generate controversy and clicks, while the actual sport suffers. The ultimate question is, will we ever move past these manufactured controversies to celebrate the true spirit of competition and the incredible talent of athletes like Brittney Griner? Or are we forever doomed to live in a world where baseless speculation defines reality and the loudest voices, however absurd, win the debate?